You know, Sarge, this could honestly work after all. Perez grinned and reloaded his rifle before peeking over the cover again and repeat the process again. Select your target, aim, fire, repeat until the magazine was empty and start over. They were in some really deep shit here. This colony should have been humanity's chance to make up for their wrongdoings on Earth. This was their attempt of reaching salvation in their minds. Now Yellowstone was just like Earth, a war-torn planet with barely any life left in it. You think so? Replied Sarge next to him. He was locked in the same repetitive motions like Perez and didn't miss a single beat whilst speaking. I mean, they are watching and listening in on us, so why not? I mean, at this point command is desperate enough to blow this entire planet to kingdom come, if necessary. How many was it? I think 5 million tons of nukes under our asses alone, right? He pointed to the spaceport that was barely visible on the horizon and then to the one they were currently holding. I say this plan of yours is a viable alternative at this point. Sarge nodded and finished his last round in his magazine at the same time as Perez, and they dropped simultaneously back into cover. Even if the burned out tank barely made the definition of cover at this point. They dropped back down not a moment too soon, as just a second later, the next nanite missile went barely over their heads. Perez took this moment to look at the other battle positions of his battalion. They were holding, even if only barely. And they had to hold. This was the last viable spaceport on this hemisphere. The last location where supplies and reinforcements could land. The last hope of escape for the trapped battalions on the entire continent. If they made it here. It was an utter shame for the 65 Engineer Battalion, Vertiger, to be pushed back this far. But the superior numbers and technology of the… what was their name? Something unpronounceable, so they were calling them widows. 2.5 meter tall half-humanoid spiders. Kinda-like centaurs, but with more cyberpunk in their upper bodies than flesh. Well, then let's give it a shot. Sarge pulled out his phone from under his plate carrier and took the O cord from his headset to connect his phone to the intercom his battalion was using. The Xenos above would definitely hear it if he played it this way. Commander Uo Rear was seated on the bridge of his carrier ship and watched over the main monitor how the humans were faring on their desperate attempt to hold on to this planet. The bridge was, like it was tradition, fairly quiet. Only here and there played the AI, a crucial part of the comms from the humans, if the visuals didn't provide enough context. How are they faring? It took the commander not even a second to spring up and stand at attention. They are holding, even if it seems only barely, Admiral. At ease. Admiral Kluzket smiled. We are friends since hatching, and alone. No need for pointless formalities. So, what are they up to after nearly 2 years? Uo looked at the screen, which had zoomed in on 2 humans behind the wreck of a tank, which up until this point were performing a nearly hypnotic and utterly beautiful ballet of reloading, shooting, and the perfected art of utilizing cover. Until now, we have informations of over 60 million tons of nuclear warheads from all over the planet. It seems as if they cannot hold, they will not give the Christok the marble veins, but blow the entire planet to pieces. This battlefield is directly below us, for the last spaceport under human control, on this side of the planet. His report was interrupted by the conversation of the 2 humans, followed up by one of them pulling an ancient phone from under his carrier plate and plugging it into the intercom. This was not only interesting enough for the ship AI to relay, but even if not, Uo would have listened in manually. A woman began to sing softly. Where have all the good men gone? And where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules? To fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night, I toss and I turn. And I dream of what I need. The 2 were too shocked and moved by this piece of musical mastery to react in any way before the song ended. The hegemony valued art, especially the art of battle, and everything correlated as near sacred. And they were not an exception. It would seem the humans did their homework. This was a call for aid. They had strict orders to remain as observers. But the fleet around Yellowstone was a full-on battle fleet to prevent this Christok from lashing out against the neighboring worlds, as they tended to go this direction if they were denied their goals. More important, no member of the hegemony would get punished if they responded to such a masterpiece. To make it even worse, the humans didn't seem to have finished their call for aid yet, even if both Kluzkat and Uzar's blood was already boiling. No time for rest. No pillow for my head. Nowhere to run from this. No way to forget. Around, the shadows creep. Like friends, they cover me. Just wanna lay me down, and finally, try to get some sleep. We carry on through the storm. Tired soldiers in this war. Remember what we're fighting for. Meet me on the battlefield. Even on the darkest night, I will be your sword and shield, your camouflage, and you will be mine. Echoes and the shots ring out. We may be the first to fall. Everything can stay the same, or we could change it all. Meet me on the battlefield. Kluzkat and Uorir were shaking, and their pupils only narrow slits at this point. But the humans weren't finished. Soldier, keep on marching on. Head down till the work is done. Waiting on the morning sun. Soldier, keep on marching on. Head in the dust, feet in the fire. Labor on that midnight wire. Listening for that angel choir. You got nowhere to run. You wanna take a drink of that promised land. Gotta wipe the dirt off of your hands. Careful son, you got dreamers' plans. But it gets hard to stand. The AI mercifully cut the audio feed out after the third song. They were near collapse, and judging from the sounds of the ship, so was the AI and the rest of the troops on board. Apparently, the AI streamed the transmission all over the fleet cause they got requests from every single ship in the fleet to immediately intervene in the fight below after the feed was cut short. Sergeant Perez returned to firing against the enemy after the playlist of battle music had started and remained in it until one soldier cried out, "Ships on horizon. Heading here." They both looked at the dozens of distinct small dots that broke through the light clouds, and Sarge immediately smiled in relief. The damn lizards were exactly like they said. Before returning to his firing position, he made sure to turn his phone to max volume. Author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.